Gotham's Guardian, the Caped Crusader. He's Batman, and there's no one else like him. And today, we're taking a deep dive into the Batcave with a special look at all things The Dark Knight. And we're starting with our hero's big screen outings. Just which Batman movie reigns supreme? Let's find out.
Why bats, Master Wayne?
Bats frighten me. This time my enemies shared my dread.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Batman movies.
I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997 and 1995 and 1992 and 1989 and that weird one in 1966.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best of the Dark Knight solo efforts in feature film format. Since we're focusing on movies where the story is mostly about the Caped Crusader and the Bat family, crossover tales like Batman v Superman won't be getting a mention here. And beware of spoilers flying your way. Holy Bat movie list viewer, did we miss anything? Number 20, Batman Forever.
This new criminal's pattern of marking his crimes with puzzles has Gothamites calling him the Riddler.
Apparently, you and Batman have a common enemy.
When Warner Brothers wanted a more family-friendly Caped Crusader tale, director Joel Schumacher and new Batman Val Kilmer stepped into the Bat Signal light. The results of their team-up were unexpected, to say the least. The sets were more extravagant, the dialogue was campy, and the villains made 3-course meals out of the scenery.
Hey, Two-Face, show me how to punch a guy!
It's dirt simple, my boy. Ball up the fist, reach way back, and assert yourself.
That looks like fun! Let me try!
Despite the movie's flaws and some added elements to the Batsuit, there's still things to love about the final product. Kilmer nailed both the physicality and duality of the character well, and it's admittedly amusing to see him in the film's most over-the-top scenes. While Batman Forever wasn't exactly adored by fans at the time, it was a box office hit that's still fun to revisit today.
You see, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be. No. Because I choose to be.
Number 19, Batman Gotham Knight.
I think he's got the Scarecrow's fear toxin boiling inside his veins. Infected me with it.
Are you in pain?
I work through pain.
Released in 2008 as a tie-in feature with The Dark Knight, Batman Gotham Knight is a collection of short films that depict the rise of the Batman on the Gotham City streets. Each story focuses on a different villain or psychological challenge that the Dark Knight must overcome. Since it is pretty much canon to the Dark Knight trilogy, the shorts incorporate elements and characters from the live-action pictures.
Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow. It has to be. He's been at large since that night in the Narrows.
What makes each segment shine is that the animation styles vary, while the legendary actor Kevin Conroy portrays Batman throughout. This collection was roundly praised as providing viewers with a fresh perspective of the Dark Knight. The visual and story risks that these shorts take help give the complete film a timeless feel.
But your pain is beyond my abilities. Perhaps yours as well. For your pain is leading you down a path you desire.
Number 18, Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders.
Come on, Robin. There's a bad moon on the rise. To the Batmobile.
After playing Batman in the 1960s, Adam West made a glorious return to the role for this animated feature. He was joined by Burt Ward and Julie Newmar, reprising their roles as Robin and Catwoman respectively. Their voices shine in a cast full of Batman's best rogues and recurring characters.
Batman, from the look of things, you're happy to see me.
You know I am, doll.
Listen, Batman, Catwoman's bat, it worked, only very slowly.
All of them star in an absurd plot that takes the Caped Crusaders from the scene of a robbery to the vastness of space. The film is packed full of all the campy camaraderie that the original shows were known for. Its jazzy underscore, colorful action, and tongue-in-cheek humor also kept us thoroughly entertained. Holy return to form, Batman!
Up with your flippers, you unholy three, and hope that I leave enough of you to put behind prison bars.
Number 17, Batman Hush.
You're going after Ivy and I want in.
I have a code.
Revenge isn't part of it.
This grim and thrilling drama shows that being close to the Dark Knight can have disastrous consequences. As Bruce pursues a romance with Catwoman and tries to rekindle a friendship with his friend Tommy Elliot, a mysterious bandaged villain named Hush commits horrible acts. Batman's forced to uncover the secret behind who this antagonist really is while avoiding a collection of his most dangerous supervillains. This compelling adventure features fantastic fight scenes and the Dark Knight nearly breaking his one rule.
Do not make me do this! Not over him! I won't let you throw your life away!
While readers may have seen this story in comics, the animated movie makes a few changes to surprise fans of the storyline. Although we'll stay quiet about the secrets, we'll definitely recommend that you see how the mystery unfolds.
The events of the past months reach as high as Superman and as low as the Joker. All were set into motion by Hush.
Number 16, Batman the Movie.
All right, enough pictures.
This press conference must be brief, ladies and gentlemen. You're lucky the dynamic duo will talk to you at all.
While modern audiences might think Adam West's live-action version of Batman is off-base for the brooding vigilante, his lighter narratives were reflective of the source material at the time. That's why it's so great to watch him in a campy 1966 movie where Batman and Robin are tasked with stopping an evil alliance of notorious villains. Along the way, they have to stop a dehydrating machine, avoid torpedoes from a penguin submarine, and dispose of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Thanks to the committed performances of the cast, the movie radiates with charm. Audiences are way too busy laughing at silly scenarios to worry about logic.
Hand me down the shark repellent bat spray!
If you're looking for a fun blast from Batman's past, grab your shark repellent and give this classic a chance. Number 15, Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero.
A gift for you. I found it in the snow. Fragile beauty clinging to life in this frozen wasteland. Like you, Nora.
During this gripping story, Mr. Freeze leaves his isolated existence to save his wife Nora's life. He soon discovers that the only way to keep her alive is to put Batgirl through a potentially fatal organ transplant. While Mr. Freeze prepares for this dangerous surgery, Batman and Robin race to save their ally's life. The high stakes and the villain's sympathetic motivations kept viewers frozen in front of their screens during the narrative.
If this place starts to blow, get out of here.
I won't leave without you.
Go! We're running out of time!
Its unique art style also makes it stand out amongst the many, many Batman films out there. And the brilliant vocal performances also make every character feel real. This serious Mr. Freeze story will give you chills.
We're going to finish this!
You're insane! The whole place is gonna blow any minute! We gotta get out!
We're not leaving until you perform that operation!
Number 14, Son of Batman.
Some others made me your responsibility.
Something like that.
This isn't necessary. I do fine by myself.
So do I. But things have changed.
Batman's relatively normal life in Gotham is upended when League of Assassins member Talia reveals that they have a son together named Damian. As she pursues the sinister Deathstroke, Bruce must try to keep his only child from embracing a killer instinct. Despite the dark premise of the story, the Son of Batman has a lot of great humor.
Good reflexes.
What if I had missed?
It would have hurt.
It's awesome to see Bruce and Damian bounce off each other while learning how to work together. And since this movie is part of an extended universe, it does a great job at setting up the duo's relationship for future films. Their film is ultimately both a great foundation and standalone tale about an unlikely father and son.
Let's go home, Damian.
I'll drive.
No.
I know how.
No.
Number 13, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Joker's back in town.
Can't be. Oh no, your old eyes do not deceive you, Brucey.
Years after an elderly Bruce was forced to retire from being a hero in the field, the young and edgy Terry McGinnis stepped up as Batman. Their successful partnership is threatened when a thought-to-be-dead Joker makes a terrifying comeback. In order to figure out how the clown appeared in the future, Terry must look into the dark past of Bruce and his allies.
So how is it possible he could still be around after all this time?
It's not possible. He died years ago.
You're sure?
I was there.
The movie does a wonderful job at giving every main character their own arc and motivations. It also repeatedly reminds us of the heavy toll that a life of crime fighting can take. Packed with tremendous twists and haunting scenes, this story goes above and beyond to deliver a fantastic tale of two Batmen.
The real Batman never talked to you much, did he? That's probably why you were so fixated on him.
Don't play psychoanalyst with me, boy.
Oh, I don't need a degree to figure you out.
Number 12, Batman Year One.
But I'd rather die than wait another hour. I've already waited 18 years.
While we typically picture Batman as a composed hero who's always at the top of his game, Batman Year One showed us a much more inexperienced Dark Knight. As Bruce struggles to become a feared vigilante, new GCPD Lieutenant Jim Gordon learns how corrupt Gotham truly is. The narrative provides great origin stories for both Batman and his eventual police partner. At the same time, we get incredible imagery and voice acting.
You've eaten well. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over. From this moment on, none of you are safe.
While the stellar Bryan Cranston plays the lieutenant, Ben McKenzie, who ironically played Gordon on Gotham, is Bruce. The duo's fantastic chemistry and fascinating histories made Batman's Year One look like an exhilarating time.
Somebody's threatened to poison the Gotham Reservoir. Calls himself the Joker. I've got a friend coming who might be able to help.
Number 11, Batman vs. Robin.
After all these months together, all I've taught you, you revert to the assassin your grandfather wanted you to be.
I could have done it easily, but I didn't. Out of respect for you.
Although Damian tried dealing out justice instead of vengeance, a new villain named Talon encourages the young sidekick to take a more brutal approach. Batman has to struggle to keep his son on the right path without falling into the clutches of the frightening Court of Owls. Not only does the movie deliver on Bruce and Damian's fight, but it also raises great moral questions.
Now is the time to step across that line. Become what you were born to be, or I promise you, I will find someone else.
It's just, I have to be sure.
It also makes sure that all the heroes and villains are three-dimensional characters that you can get invested in. And if all that wasn't great enough, Batman vs. Robin makes sure to sneak in clever nods to the rich Batman mythos. Even if Bruce and Damian didn't trade blows, this layered movie would still be superb.
You and the court try to take control of my city and destroy my home. But worst of all, you messed with my kid. So this is gonna hurt, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
Number 10, Batman Under the Red Hood.
Hard to forget that night, huh? In a way, Batman, this was the site of your first great failure. Maybe your greatest.
If you ask any fan of the Dark Knight's animated movies, they'll name Batman Under the Red Hood as one of their favorites. The dark narrative kicks off with a huge bang when we see Jason Todd's Robin meet his demise at the Joker's hands. Sometime after Bruce's grim loss, his surrogate son returns as the violent vigilante Red Hood. The duo's opposing ideals of how to stop crime strain their already fractured relationship.
I'm doing what you won't. I'm taking them out.
Tell me what happened to you. Let me help.
It's too late.
While the film does boast spectacular action scenes, its true strength lies with its emotional and complex conversations. Even its finale is more of a psychological thriller than a bombastic set piece. The movie's sharp dialogue and heartbreaking turns make Under the Red Hood a tragedy you can't look away from.
I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Scarecrow or Dent.
I'm talking about him. Just him. And doing it because he took me away from you.
Number 9, the Lego Batman movie.
You can't spend the rest of your life alone, dressed in black, listening to angry music and staying up all night.
Yes, I can, because I'm Batman.
After becoming a breakout star in the Lego movie, this version of Batman got to star in his own solo picture. No one was expecting this plastic facsimile of the Caped Crusader to capture the dark aspects of the character while still remaining true to the Lego universe's happier tone. The relationships that Batman has with Robin, Barbara, and even the Joker of all people are all surprisingly touching in their own ways.
And if it wasn't for you, I never would have learned how connected I am with all these people. And you.
Outside of great character work, the movie's so packed with Easter eggs, references, and Batman movie gags that you'll need to watch it multiple times. It still blows us away that one of the funniest and best constructed stories about the Dark Knight rests on the heads of a few Lego characters.
That was incredible. I felt so jazzed.
I say jazzed. I gotta give it to you, Batman. That was awesome.
Number 8, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Parts 1 and 2.
Sir?
Just remembering a promise, Alfred.
Which was?
Never again.
Although this movie adaptation is in 2 parts, we'll put them into one entry because they make up one fantastic story about an old and jaded Batman. When an out-of-practice Bruce puts on the cape again to fight new threats, the Joker's inspired to take more lives. The situation gets so out of hand that the president sends Superman to permanently retire the Bat.
This is between you and me.
We don't have to do this.
Sure we do.
Since their story is set in the Cold War era, there's lots of sharp and relevant political commentary underneath the superhero action. And speaking of exciting scenes, the fight between the Bat and Man of Steel is one of the best hero versus hero clashes in any medium. Batman himself couldn't have prepped a better comeback story.
I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Number 7, The Batman.
Let's play a game, just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
While 2022's The Batman has great action sequences, it mainly focuses on the Dark Knight gathering information and solving puzzles to figure out why the Riddler's gone on a rampage. Although the slow burn mystery may not appeal to everyone, there's still plenty to love about this take on the Caped Crusader. Gotham has never felt more gritty and realistic than it does in The Batman. The city's full of fantastic characters, such as the complex and compelling Catwoman, and a truly unhinged Riddler.
Please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
And standing triumphantly at the center is a commanding performance from Robert Pattinson as a raw Batman early in his career. He skillfully led a grim mystery that showcased why the Dark Knight is the world's greatest detective.
You're part of this too. How am I part of this? You'll see.
Number 6, The Dark Knight Rises.
And you can just strap up your leg and put your mask back on, but that doesn't make you what you were.
If this man is everything that you say he is, then the city needs me.
There was tons of hype for the conclusion of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. After Batman sacrifices his standing with the GCPD to save Gotham, Bane arrives to threaten the city. This imposing new villain manages to tear Bruce's life to shreds and successfully take Batman out of commission. In our hero's darkest hour, the audience is left wondering whether Gotham will fall or if anyone can rise to save it.
I fear dying in here while my city burns. There's no one there to save it.
Then make the climb.
While the movie has a few head-scratching twists that keep it from perfection, it still boasts an iconic performance from Tom Hardy as Bane. He was an excellent final boss during Christian Bale's farewell to his time as Batman. Seeing the hero overcome impossible odds made for an inspiring end to an excellent trilogy.
So you came back to die with your city?
I came back to stop you.
Number 5. Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
It's gotta be one or the other. I can't have it both ways. I can't put myself on the line as long as there's someone waiting for me to come home.
Released right between two big-budget live-action movies, Batman Mask of the Phantasm is considered by many fans to be a better film than its contemporary cinema releases. The movie explores how Bruce became dedicated to his mission of being Gotham's protector. At the same time, it highlights his burning desire for a life outside of vigilante justice. Bruce must fight this internal battle while combating the new Phantasm villain. The narrative is full of awe-inspiring writing and stupendous vocal work.
I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
While Mark Hamill unsurprisingly kills it as the Joker, Kevin Conroy arguably gives the best Bruce Wayne performance of his career here. Their work helped Mask of the Phantasm become a top-tier interpretation of what it truly means to be Batman.
I always feared you would become that which you fought against. You walk the edge of that abyss every night. But you haven't fallen in, and I thank heaven for that.
Number 4. Batman Returns.
Wow. The Batman. Or is it just Batman?
Although this Batman story is set at Christmas, it's far from a jolly tale. After the Penguin emerges from the sewers of Gotham, its citizens begin to suffer. Batman's efforts to stop him are complicated by his love interest Catwoman's thirst for revenge. The relentlessly grim tone and unsettling imagery wasn't widely accepted at first. But over time, fans appreciated the creativity and heart this sequel contains. While you might see Penguin flying away on a convenient umbrella one moment, the next scene might advance a tragic love story.
Oh my god. Does this mean we have to start fighting?
Let's go outside.
The movie's slick balance of comedic and dramatic plots build up to a shocking and memorable ending. By the time Batman Returns concludes, you'll feel like you've unwrapped a great gift you didn't know you wanted.
I would love to live with you in your castle. Forever, just like in a fairy tale.
Number 3. Batman Begins.
As a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting.
What symbol?
Something elemental, something terrifying.
Nearly a decade after the franchise went underground, Batman Begins rekindled audience excitement for The Dark Knight. This narrative jumped around time to chronicle how Bale's Batman came to be. Its relatively grounded and realistic approach to vigilantism instantly set it apart from superhero stories that had come before. However, everyone stayed for the fantastic interpretations of franchise mainstays.
Faster, away! What is the point of all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody log?
Michael Caine's Alfred, Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow, and Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul all set new bars for how their characters should be portrayed. And Bale stood at the center as a strong contender for the best Dark Knight of all time. Batman Begins was a fresh start for the character that ultimately kicked off a new era of superhero films.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
Number 2. Batman.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
The 1989 Batman movie was a huge gamble. Not only did they cast a comedic actor named Michael Keaton as the hero, but they were also going to treat The Dark Knight seriously. Against all odds, this movie absolutely worked. Keaton was lauded for his portrayal of a conflicted and heroic Bruce Wayne. Audiences also couldn't get enough of Jack Nicholson's legendary turn as Joker.
Gotham City always brings a smile to my face. Oh, freak. Terrorizes.
And thanks to inspired production design, Gotham had a unique look that forever changed how we pictured the city. This movie became so beloved that fans went wild over reports Keaton would appear in a Flash movie decades after he last played the character. It's mind-blowing to think that a once risky project is now an iconic and influential film.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Kill you. You idiot! You made me. Remember? You dropped me into that vat of chemicals. That wasn't easy to get over. Don't think that I didn't try.
Number 1. Batman and Robin.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Could there be any doubt? 1997 saw a dramatic shift in the paradigm of Batman movies, and oh boy, we can't even joke about it. Our top Batman movie is definitely not this poorly scripted, terribly acted, awfully characterized, over-the-top toy commercial. The true number 1 is the one this list deserves and needs right now. Number 1, The Dark Knight.
You want order in Gotham. Batman must take off his mask and turn himself in. Oh, and every day he doesn't, people will die. Starting tonight. I'm a man of my word.
Largely considered to be one of the best thrillers of all time, The Dark Knight is the pinnacle of Batman movies. This crime drama pits Bale's Caped Crusader against Heath Ledger's Academy Award-winning Joker. Their story is excellently paced, brilliantly acted, and contains twists that not even the world's greatest detective could see coming. Although it could have leaned into CGI for its set pieces, a commitment to practical stunts made each action scene feel visceral. And we don't even know which incredibly quotable line to highlight first.
Well, you look nervous. Is it the scars? You want to know how I got them? Come here. Hey. Look at me. So I had a wife. She was beautiful. Like you. Who tells me I worry too much.
The engrossing tale was considered so significant that it was preserved in the Library of Congress. Generations from now, The Dark Knight will still be seen as one of the most important Batman films ever made.
He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
So many great Batman movies out there, and more on the way. But let's swing back to that Robert Pattinson starring one, shall we? Because we're about to take a look at the most epic scenes from The Batman.
Hidden in the chaos is the element, waiting to strike like snakes.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most rewatchable scenes in The Batman.
You're pretty good at that.
For this list, we'll be looking at the scenes and sequences from this excellent Dark Knight detective story that we love to revisit. We won't be including any deleted scenes this time around. If you haven't seen The Batman yet, consider this your spoiler warning.
I think you don't really care about his motives, whether he loves or hates you.
What was your favorite scene in Robert Pattinson's Dark Knight debut? Number 10. Batman arrives at the Iceberg Lounge.
No,
Yeah, I got an idea.
I want to see the Penguin.
When Bruce Wayne's Riddler investigation leads to the Iceberg Lounge, he suits up and knocks on the front door. After a quick discussion with security takes a bad turn, the Dark Knight decides to punch his way in. It feels like the hero is unstoppable as he takes out goons left and right. And in one of the greatest visual gags ever, Batman uses an actual bat during the fight.
Hey, put the bat down or I'll blow your head off!
As abruptly as this tense fighting sequence began, it ends with the Penguin arriving to calm tensions down. But the short length of Batman's trip through the Iceberg Lounge doesn't stop it from being an extremely cool scene.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Take it easy, sweetheart. You looking for me? See you met the twins?
Number 9. Catwoman goes underground and undercover.
I don't know about these things.
I need to see you in there. This hunting ground.
Hey, why am I starting to feel like a fish on a hook?
After the Bat and the Cat decide to work together, Selina agrees to go on a very risky solo mission. As she travels through an underworld location, Batman watches everything go down through her eyes thanks to special contacts and tries to guide her actions.
If I look back, it's gonna be a whole can of worms.
I need to see his face.
The scene takes advantage of Bruce's live feed to create distinctive visuals and creative shots. There's also a sense of building tension as the unarmed Catwoman meets progressively dangerous characters. Although she and Batman might not have fully enjoyed their first mission together, this trip into the underworld is easily one of the film's most well-crafted sequences.
I don't have a relationship with him, okay?
Well, that's not what it looked like. Wait, what are you doing?
Listen, I can't do this no more.
No!
Number 8. Batman pursues the Penguin. Audiences knew they were about to witness a great chase scene as soon as the Batmobile roared to life.
Nancy, get the booty!
Bruce's blazingly fast vehicle quickly catches up to the fleeing Penguin. Unfortunately, Batman has to worry about the other cars on the road and the obstacles that the villain keeps creating. The Dark Knight's driving here is incredibly impressive. He's able to react quickly, keep on the pressure, and finally take Penguin's car out of commission. And thanks to excellent cinematography, audiences feel like they're in the driver's seat the entire time. Although Penguin thought he could get away from the Bat, he should have known he'd lose this chase before he even hit the gas. Number 7. The opening I Am the Shadows monologue. Robert Pattinson quickly puts any doubts that he could play Batman to rest with strong opening narration.
And I'm there too. Watching. 2 years of nights have turned me into a nocturnal animal.
As we take a tour of this version of a turbulent Gotham, Bruce gives us insights into his 2-year history as the Dark Knight. Although he admits he's human and can't stop every crime, he also establishes that he's become an almost supernatural symbol of fear to criminals.
But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning. To them.
Bruce's monologue is wonderfully written and perfectly performed by Pattinson. We're just as captivated by his voice as we are by the visuals of the Gotham City he protects. And as icing on the cake, the impressive opening ends with Batman stepping out of the shadows and demonstrating why every criminal should fear him.
I'm vengeance.
Number 6. Batman takes Riddler's call.
You came.
Who are you?
Me. I'm nobody.
The Riddler interrupts the former mayor's funeral by forcing District Attorney Gil Colson to drive into it. After discovering he has a bomb on his neck, a letter to the Dark Knight, and a ringing phone, Batman shows up to answer the call. Once the hero is in place, Riddler says he'll let Coulson go if the DA answers 3 riddles in time. The suspense builds with every moment the scene goes on.
Justice! Justice! And you were supposed to be an arm of justice in this city.
And although we're expecting Batman to triumph, the story throws a major curveball that makes it clear this won't be a victory.
No. He's gonna kill you. I'm a dead man either way. You're talking to a dead man, okay? If I go out this way, it's just me. But if I give over that name, I have family, people I love. They'll kill them too.
This shocking scene did a great job of building up the Riddler and his fraught relationship with the Bat. Its explosive ending makes this a moment fans won't soon forget. Number 5. The Dark Knight's final fight.
And when the time arrives, I will already be unmasked. The pigs will have me in their custody, but that's okay. Because then, it will be your turn.
In the climax of The Batman, a bunch of Riddler's online followers prepare to execute a deadly plan. Fortunately, the Dark Knight arrives just in the nick of time to stop them all. What makes this fight scene stand out is that it isn't one-sided. Batman gets backed into a corner and nearly loses everything multiple times. Ultimately, he needs a boost from a mysterious substance and a key assist from Catwoman to fully turn the tables.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's done now.
While this scene could have come off as another standard fight, it's elevated by one surprising twist. The last person Batman defeats repeats Bruce's mantra right back at him. This is the moment it's clear to the Dark Knight that his brutal actions might have inspired the wrong message.
I'm vengeance.
Number 4. Riddler makes a new friend.
Isn't that Josh terrible? Him raining on your parade like that?
While the Riddler is detained in Arkham, he has a hugely negative reaction to a Batman news story. As the villain starts spiraling, a nearby inmate starts talking. Every audience member gasped as soon as they realized the voice was coming from Barry Keown's Joker. Even though the clown is never fully visible, he completely dominates the screen with an unsettling performance.
You did so well. And you know, Gotham loves a comeback story.
We hung on every one of his words as he inched closer to forming a twisted partnership with Paul Dano's Riddler. After less than 5 minutes of screen time, we've become hungry to see more of this Joker and what he could do if he and his new friend ever escaped Arkham.
The less of them you have, the more one is worth.
Number 3. Batman's Great Escape. Sometime after an explosion knocks Batman unconscious, he wakes up in the middle of the GCPD surrounded by officers.
Relax, goddammit! You protecting this guy, Jim? He interfered in an active hostage situation.
For a moment, it looks like the Dark Knight's only way out is punching every member of the police force. But Jim Gordon steps in and lets Batman know he only has to hit one to get out.
We gotta get you out of here. I'll put a lot of heat on you. Well, you punched me in the face.
After delivering a hard blow, our hearts start racing for the Dark Knight as he desperately raced through the GCPD station and finally reached the roof. He only lets fear flash on his face for a moment before gloriously gliding off the high building. The close camera angles and botched landing help make this awe-inspiring escape also feel realistic. Unfortunately for Jim, the punch was realistic too.
Could have at least pulled that punch, man. I did. Buck put out an APB on you.
Number 2. The Dark Knight rises as a hero.
I'm starting to see now. I have had an effect here. But not the one I intended.
Although this version of Batman has a reputation for stopping criminals, he wasn't exactly known for being a people person. But when innocent people are trapped in water, he risks his life to protect them. A bunch of frightened Gothamites are shocked to see Batman put down his fists and extend a hand. However, they accept his offer for help. As Batman saves more lives, he realizes the city needs him to be more than an agent of vengeance.
Vengeance won't change the past. Mine or anyone else's.
Seeing this cold and brutal version of the Dark Knight become a more heroic figure was incredibly satisfying. This watery montage gave us hope that all of Gotham would soon respect and champion him as much as we do.
I have to become more. People need hope. To know someone's out there for them.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Riddler's viral video about the Waynes. The young billionaire views brutal truths about his family history.
The Waynes and the Arkhams, Gotham's legacy of lies and murder.
I hope you're listening, Bruce Wayne.
Bruce meets Falcone. Pattinson and John Turturro give incredible performances as they discuss the Waynes.
I know. You thought your father was a Boy Scout. But you'd be surprised what even a good man like him is capable of in the right situation.
Catwoman captures a crooked cop. Her vigilante scene ends with proof she has 9 lives.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
Alfred and Bruce reconcile. The inseparable pair are finally able to truly connect in the hospital.
I'm not afraid to die. But I realize now there's something I haven't got past. This fear. If ever going through any of that again.
Catwoman versus Falcone. Their dark fight is tense and ultimately ends on Selina's terms.
He has to pay!
You don't have to pay with him. You paid enough.
Number 1. Batman confronts Riddler in Arkham.
If only you knew how long I've been waiting for this day.
From the moment Riddler committed his first crime, we eagerly awaited the moment he'd come face to face with Batman. Their Arkham meeting definitely didn't disappoint. As Batman tries to stay in control of the conversation, Riddler throws multiple curveballs to upset the balance.
Bruce Wayne. He's the only one we didn't get. But we got the rest of them, didn't we? All those slick, sleazy, phony pricks. God, look at you.
Your mask is amazing. I wish you could have seen me in mine.
There's a potential identity reveal, deep dive into the villain's motivation, and the revelation that the worst is yet to come. Paul Dano's unhinged performance is absolutely sublime in this scene. He perfectly balances out a restrained yet powerful Pattinson that can speak volumes with a single glance. Not only is Batman and Riddler's confrontation one of the film's best moments, but it stands as one of the best hero and villain face-offs we've ever seen in a comic book movie.
You showed me all it takes is fear and a little focused violence. You inspired me.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
What?
We should
is all in your head. You're sick, twisted.
How can you say that?
You think you'll be remembered? You're a pathetic psychopath, begging for attention. You're gonna die alone.
No!
A nobody!
The debate has gone on for decades. Just who is the best actor to don Batman's cape and cowl? Well, everyone has their favorites, but two of the most popular seem to be Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. So naturally, WatchMojo pitted them against one another. Take a look.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're looking at Ben Affleck versus Michael Keaton as Batman.
If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
For this list, we'll be looking at everything from performances to gadgets to see which actors gave us the best overall representation of the Caped Crusader. Which of these crime-fighting heroes would you put the bat signal up for? Round 1, fight scenes. Michael Keaton's first fight scene as Batman set the stage for a darker, more terrifying vigilante superhero. His utter confidence is demonstrated by the swiftness of the takedown. It's over with a kick, a grab, and that iconic introduction.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Keaton's knight easily dominates most opponents. However, a few average henchmen have given him troubles over the years. That partially might be because a few of his encounters are pure comedy. The humor is often amplified by sound effects, music, and lack of blood. For the most part, Keaton's fight scenes haven't historically felt dangerous, but he can definitely get serious when he needs to.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Affleck's Batman comes at his fights with the wisdom of experience. He thinks about his battles ahead of time and plans for eventualities. Before facing off with Superman, he takes the time to lay traps and consider every weakness.
Breathe it in. That's fear.
Due to his intelligence and good use of gadgets, Batman comes close to doing the impossible and slaying Superman. The hero also takes down a room filled with opponents with brutal efficiency. He gives and takes multiple hits, and there's plenty of blood and broken bones. And just to prove that Batfleck's fight against the alien Superman wasn't a fluke, he takes down tons of parademons later on. While this Batman is not superpowered, he is really good at his job.
I'll kill her! Believe me, I'll do it!
I believe you.
Both Keaton and Affleck make us root for Batman when they combat enemies. However, the higher stakes and bigger achievements of Affleck's fight push him into the win for this round.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Winner, Keaton 0, Affleck 1. Round 2, civilian identities. The turmoil that's within Batman is present in the actor's portrayal of Bruce Wayne as well. His casual billionaire playboy has the veneer of civility as he holds dinner parties or attend events.
Hi. Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
Yeah, this time.
However, the mask he wears feels brittle. Whenever it slips, we see a truly damaged and vulnerable person still recovering from a great tragedy. Upon a closer look, you realize his movements are too controlled, and his calm is that of a man barely holding himself in check. Keaton's Bruce manages to hide his darkness behind charm and pure quirkiness. But when we're not smiling at his antics, we're remembering how torn up he truly is.
We're the same. We're the same. Split. Right down the center.
There is a sense of bone weariness to Ben Affleck's older Bruce Wayne. In his first film, he's constantly brooding, drinking too much, and seems to struggle to approach each day. Even Alfred recognizes that some of his fire is gone.
20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
Having to play the suave billionaire seems to annoy him. Whenever he has to pretend, we can feel his loathing for the role brimming underneath the casual smile. It's easy to see this alter ego as the natural result of years of crime fighting and maybe a little self-actualization. Affleck's Wayne mellows out a little more when he starts playing with others. However, it's clear that he's still Batman first and Bruce Wayne second.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us.
Although we appreciate the world-weary Wayne, there's a charm and vulnerability to Keaton's Playboy that makes his billionaire feel more fun and more fascinating to unpack.
I guess I'm tired of wearing masks.
Me too.
Winner, Keaton 1, Affleck 1. Round 3, Intimidation Factor. There's something about the way Michael Keaton's Batman descends onto the scene that strikes terror into the hearts of criminals. It could be the swoop of his wings or the silent descent behind them. He's a dark and dangerous presence. Ironically, when he gets down to business, he's more likely to knock an opponent down or hang him from a beam that beat him senseless. But there are a few occasions where he gets deadly. Although Keaton's face strikes fear in the heart of lawbreakers, at times a quirky humor leaks through. Every time we hear a cutting comment or see him crack a wry smile in the suit, we see his lighter side.
I haven't been fed all day.
Eat floor. High fiber.
Ben Affleck's Batman always takes his job seriously. He's seen too much death and destruction to constantly crack jokes when he's in the suit. And no, we're not counting his quips in 2017's Justice League. When you look back at Affleck's first full scene as Batman, he hangs in the corner like a monster from a horror movie and branded the criminal he captured. He terrifies the people he rescued, the villains, and the police.
Christ!
I saw him. I never saw him before.
Affleck's Batman is so notorious in the world that anyone who gets his symbol is essentially marked for death. Before the Dark Knight allies with other heroes, he definitely prefers to be feared than loved.
Whatever you do, wherever you go, I'm watching you.
While both Batmen are scary, we're much more terrified at the thought of what Affleck's Dark Knight would do to us if he was angry. We would not want to meet him in a shadowy Gotham alley.
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
Winner, Keaton 1, Affleck 2. Round 4, Bat Gear.
Hold on.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
While Batman has always had great taste and design sensibilities, Keaton's collection had an extra cool vibe. He pioneered a dark, edgy live-action suit that provided protection and camouflage before it became the norm. And in his second film, it even came complete with glider wings. Keaton's Batman had tons of useful gadgets. From his batarang that could pinpoint enemies to his multiple ways to grapple, he was ready for most confrontations. We also have to take a moment to discuss that iconic car.
Get the car.
Which one?
It was loaded with a navigation computer, voice command, full armor, and a plethora of weapons. The slim design and long body also made it stand out from other vehicles. After appearing in the films, many other stories tried to capture that legendary design. Affleck's Batmobile was the tank we wish we had. It was full of weapons that could take out human or alien enemies without issue. And when this Batman wasn't in his car, he had other large vehicles made for specific scenarios.
Celebrate later, Alfred. I need the Nightcrawler.
Thought you'd never ask. Crawler's on the way, initiating remote mode.
He and Alfred also made some great upgrades to his suits and gadgets. The suit that he used to fight Superman was heavily armored and gave him a fighting chance against the Kryptonian. Additionally, Affleck's Batman also forged kryptonite weapons that damaged the Boy Scout and helped doom Doomsday. We also have to applaud the addition of a voice changer so that he didn't damage his throat with gruff vocals. This versatile Batgear made him ready for nearly anyone and anything that challenged him. There's no question that Affleck's equipment and vehicles are very useful. However, we think Keaton deserves credit for introducing design concepts that will become franchise staples. everything from his suit to gadgets continue to influence that franchise.
I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past. As if fighting crime would bring my parents back.
Winner, Keaton 2, Affleck 2. Round 5, performances.
Made mistakes. And then he had us.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Keaton always got to flex his comedic and dramatic muscles while playing the caped crusader. In the lighter scenes, the twinkle in his eye and perfect timing made us laugh out loud. But he could just as easily bring tears to our own eyes. Keaton also made sure each persona had distinct characteristics.
You know, this house and all this stuff really doesn't seem like you at all.
Some of it is very much me. Some of it isn't.
While his Bruce Wayne always carried a frenetic energy that pulled you in, his Batman put up walls that kept you out. The true magic of Keaton's portrayal was that it always felt like he was reaching out to others while wearing either mask. He gave us hope that Bruce Wayne could heal. And over 30 years after his first appearance, fans went nuts when they heard he was returning to the screen.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
When Zack Snyder needed his Batman to feel like a wary veteran, Affleck definitely answered the call.
My parents taught me a different lesson. Dying in the gutter for no reason at all.
Even in his brightest scenes, there's a tinge of sadness underneath his performance. We can feel a deep sense of loss and tragedy radiating from him. Despite carrying so much darkness, Affleck also convinced us that this Batman hasn't lost his heroic nature either. He runs towards destruction while everyone goes the other way. And watching him slowly regain his hope and faith in humanity made for a fascinating journey. While Affleck's Batman still has room to change, he's made big steps forward from where he started. He grew on viewers that learned to accept a darker Batman.
Your guilt's overcome your reason. Not all the king's horses, nor all the king's men could.
Alfred, for once, I'm operating strictly on faith, not on reason.
Watching Affleck's grim Dark Knight evolve has been fascinating. However, there's something about Keaton's charismatic and multifaceted performance that still resonates with us. The fact that he was brought back to a franchise after 3 decades is further proof that he's beloved.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?
Winner, Keaton 3, Affleck 2. Although it was an epic fight, Keaton swoops in at the last minute to take this victory from Affleck as the resounding Bat winner.
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
One of my personal favorite actors to take on the role of Batman was the late, great Kevin Conroy. His voice work as both Bruce Wayne and Batman were pitch perfect in every way. But don't take my word for it. Check this out.
It's like a wise man once said, battle not with monsters, lest you become a monster.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Kevin Conroy moments as Batman.
Am I blue? You'd be too.
For this list, we're looking at the best scenes featuring this legendary actor as the Caped Crusader in every medium. If you haven't seen all these stories, beware the Batman and a few spoilers ahead. What's your favorite Kevin Conroy performance? Number 10, outsmarting Darkseid, Superman Batman Apocalypse.
It's over, Darkseid. Even you must realize the folly of being a king without a kingdom.
I doubt the battle between the 2 Kryptonians will bring about such destruction.
I'm not talking about them.
After Supergirl is captured by Darkseid and brought to the planet Apocalypse, Batman joins a rescue team to save her. But he's nowhere close to a physical match for the big bad. So, Batman threatens to blow up Darkseid's homeworld and everyone on it.
One hellspore can turn an entire planet into a fire pit. What'll happen to Apocalypse when 500 go off simultaneously?
You dare?
Although we know the Dark Knight doesn't typically take lives, Conroy's intimidating performance sells the hero's plan. Even we're not fully convinced that Batman was just bluffing about terminating an entire society.
You will disarm them.
Here's the deal. Release the girl, And give your word you'll leave her alone.
Despite Darkseid's attempts to stop the Dark Knight, the villain eventually yields to the hero. It was epic listening to Conroy's very human character stop an incredibly powerful alien. Number 9. Dooming the Justice League. Justice League Doom.
Flash, listen carefully. I need you to go to Star Labs Kyoto and have them forge a piece of kryptonite into a scalpel. Bring it to me.
Can't help you. I got a bomb bolted to my wrist. If I stop,
it'll explode.
Every member of the Justice League was enjoying a regular day of hero work until each of them was incapacitated by separate and sinister plans. The only one who overcame a horrible scheme was Batman. Once he realizes what's going on, his voice is instantly filled with fear. Batman becomes more panicked until he reveals he's the person who devised all these terrible plans.
Alfred, get the Batwing ready. The Justice League is under attack. By whom? By me!
The emotional journey that the Dark Knight goes on up until this fantastic twist is perfectly portrayed by Conroy. He expertly navigates the line between Batman's sense of control and newfound panic that he may have doomed his friends. Fortunately, the Dark Knight's tones are filled with relief once he saves everyone in the League.
you think one of us would go over to the other side?
Or succumb to mind control. Yes, it's possible. That's why I developed plans for containing any or all members of the JLA, should the need ever arise.
Number 8. Parodying the Dark Knight. Teen Titans Go.
Now, Robin. Robin, where are you?
Still in your shadow.
Oh.
It's always going to be this way.
Shadows are my thing.
Fans are very used to Conroy's sobering and serious take on the Caped Crusader. That's why hearing him put a silly spin on Batman was so fun. When Robin is explaining his origins on Teen Titans, he stands in the shadow of Conroy's Dark Knight. Unfortunately for the young sidekick, this means that he's basically invisible to Batman.
Robin, where are you?
Just a little to your left.
Where?
Ah, there he is, in your shadow.
Conroy beautifully plays into the funny tone of Teen Titans Go while keeping the heavy feel of his other performances. Throughout the short scene, you can tell the actor is putting 1000% effort into each and every line. It is a testament to Conroy's talent that he fit into whatever Batman universe he found himself in.
Leaving? It's the short shorts, isn't it? I can get you longer shorts if that'll make a difference.
It's not the shorts. Well, maybe a little.
Number 7. Playing a past and future Batman at once. Justice League Unlimited. Thanks to time travel shenanigans, a Batman in his prime is sent to the future to work with a much older version of himself.
Surprised to see me? A little. I'm more surprised that I lived so long.
Batman, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Or have you met?
Not now!
Although both heroes are played by Conroy, he manages to make each of them sound distinct from each other. The best demonstration of his flexible vocal range comes when the Batmen have to interrogate someone. While the young Caped Crusader goes from firm to gentle, the older Bruce only grows more intimidating by the minute.
My arm's getting tired. I can't believe I was ever that green. This is how you interrogate someone.
It's such an incredible dual performance that you'd be forgiven for thinking it was two different actors. Conroy's spectacular range made this meeting of the Batmen into one of the best superhero crossovers ever.
Losing my patience. I can't control my friend here much longer. You better give us something we can use.
Number 6. Making the Joker laugh. Batman Arkham City.
Give me the cure! But you've already got the cure. Talia, no!
One of the reasons it felt like you were really Batman in 3 of the Arkham games is because Conroy provided the voice for the hero. In one of his best scenes, the Dark Knight is faced with a difficult choice. Should Batman cure the Joker of a fast-acting disease or let the clown die? Hearing the hero debate his next move was extremely compelling.
Every decision you've ever made ends with death and misery. People die. I stop you. You'll just break out and do it again.
However, everything changes when Joker accidentally destroys the vial holding the cure. Despite being full of resentment towards the clown a few moments earlier, the quiet rage leaves Conroy's voice. He ends the tremendous scene with regret that his foe is dying. It is such a powerful performance that inspires a strong and fitting reaction from the Joker.
Do you want to know something funny? Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
Number 5. Comforting Ace before she dies. Justice League Unlimited.
Take her down before she takes everyone with her.
I'll do it, Shaira. I'm the only one of us Ace knows. She might let me get close enough to use it.
When a powerful psychic named Ace is on the verge of death, she starts to warp reality around her. Although Amanda Waller wants to dispatch her instantly with a specialized device, Batman has a different idea. He decides to just have a conversation with the young Ace in hopes that his words will convince her to rein her powers in.
They got their weapon. I got cheated out of my childhood.
I know what that's like.
You do, don't you?
Conroy layers Batman's voice with compassion and empathy.
I'm dying very soon.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Could you stay with me?
And after they bond over lost childhoods and past tragedies, the Dark Knight agrees to sit with Ace as her life comes to an end. This simple and moving scene likely became a Justice League Unlimited fan favorite because we could really hear the pain in Conroy's voice. Number 4. Giving Joker another chance. Batman: The Killing Joke. During this bleak Batman tale, the Joker slays several innocent people, tries to drive Commissioner Gordon insane, and takes away Batgirl's ability to walk. But despite having every reason to break the clown in the finale, the Dark Knight offers an olive branch instead.
I don't want either of us to end up killing the other, but we're running out of alternatives. Perhaps it all hinges on tonight.
Batman's tones manage to sound composed and desperate at the same time. Conroy truly makes us believe that the Dark Knight will finally reach a point of understanding with his rival.
Maybe we could work together. I could rehabilitate you. You don't need to be alone. We don't have to kill each other. Let me help you.
Unfortunately, the Joker rejects the offer for help. While the clown may not have loved Batman's speech, we adored Conroy for bringing this iconic comic moment to life. The laugh he shares with Mark Hamill's Joker at the end was just icing on the cake. Number 3. Begging to never become Batman. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. A surprising plotline in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm saw Bruce Wayne fall in love with a woman named Andrea. He quickly becomes torn between his desire to be with her and the promise he made to his parents to protect Gotham. Bruce goes to his parents' graves to ask if he can abandon his crime-fighting mission.
I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you?
In this emotional scene, Conroy allows the hero to be completely vulnerable. It is a raw performance that gives us the rare opportunity to see Batman's tough facade crumble away and reveal the damaged and scared person underneath.
I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy.
In the end, it's left ambiguous as to whether his parents approve of Bruce giving up his crusade. But we definitely endorse this extraordinary Conroy scene.
Please, tell me that it's okay.
Maybe they already have.
Number 2. Appearing as the Dark Knight in live action. Batwoman.
You start with a code. You hang on to it with every self-righteous breath. But then you take one life.
Kevin Conroy spent over 2 decades voicing Batman for animated projects before he got a chance to play the hero in live action. Fortunately for legions of excited fans, he far exceeded our greatest expectations. Conroy portrays a broken Dark Knight who had long abandoned his no-killing policy and any sense of hope. In his greatest scene, he shows how far the character has fallen by lashing out at Supergirl and Batwoman.
My parents taught me a very different lesson. Life only makes sense if you force it to.
The way Conroy fills every sharp word with venom and hatred nearly makes him come off like a villain instead of an extremely dark anti-hero. While it wasn't the Batman performance we thought we deserved, it was a portrayal we needed more of as soon as we saw it.
I don't know what happened to you, Bruce, but it ends now.
Yes, let it end.
Before we shine the bat signal on our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Alien Batman meets his earthly counterpart, Batman: The Brave and the Bold. The voice actor put a new spin on a caped crusader that was from the stars.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Batman of Earth. I've been stranded here.
Then welcome to the planet Zur-Anar. Here, I'm Batman.
The Dark Knight threatens Superman. Injustice, Gods Among Us. Conroy's alternate universe Batman warns Clark to stay in line with a great line.
If something ever happens and you do lose it, I'm coming for you.
Eulogy for Superman, Justice League. Conroy made the Dark Knight's tribute to the Blue Boy sweet and sentimental.
Despite our differences, I have nothing but respect for you. I hope you know that. You showed me that justice doesn't always have to come from the darkness.
Batman discovers Jason is the Arkham Knight. Batman, Arkham Knight. The amount of sadness Conroy conveys in a few words is remarkable.
For a moment, I thought you said that you'd found Master Todd.
You heard right.
My God, is he all right?
No. No, he's not.
Singing Am I Blue? Justice League Unlimited. Not only is it fun to see Bruce sing, but Conroy proved he had a great voice.
Am I blue? Ain't these tears in my eyes telling you?
Number 1. Delivering an iconic Batman speech. Batman the Animated Series.
Are you all right, sir? The Scarecrow drugged me with some kind of fear toxin. I never know when it's going to hit me. I'm having horrible visions of my father. He says I'm shaming the family name.
That's rubbish. I know your father will be proud of you, because I'm so proud of you. Now come on, it's time for chicken soup and a good night's sleep.
Although Conroy gave a masterclass in voice acting in every single episode of this classic animated show, his most tremendous display arguably came when he fought Scarecrow. After being hit with the fear toxin, Batman's fear that he's ruining his family legacy comes to the surface. He starts seeing terrifying visions and hearing that he's a failure. But when Batman's at his lowest point, he overcomes his fear with an incredibly badass speech.
I am not a disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman.
The way Conroy conveys Bruce's emotion and strength with just his voice alone is simply sublime. His speech serves as a perfect summary of everything the hero stands for. When looking back on Conroy's long and decorated resume, this speech shows without question that he was always meant to be Batman.
Oh, yes.
Many people often forget that Batman doesn't have superpowers. He just uses his above-average smarts and cool-as-all-heck gadgets to take out the bad guys. But what if I told you that there were times Batman did have superpowers? Yeah, check it out.
You so much as sneeze without my permission, you're going to regret it.
That I'd like to see!
One punch.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Batman got superpowers.
First the fear, then the feast.
For this list, we'll be looking at stories where the notoriously non-powered member of the Justice League found himself with extraordinary abilities. We won't be counting times that armors or exosuits gave him extra talents this time around. Do you prefer your Batman with or without superpowers? Number 10. Vampire powers. Batman and Dracula, Red Rain.
This dark hunger within me. As much as I try, I can't suppress it. So instead, I'll feed it.
It's not hard to see how the Batman was influenced by the works of Bram Stoker's Dracula and Roland West's The Bat. But comic book writer Doug Moenk took the connection further by having the Dark Knight meet the vampire in one story. During the narrative, Batman receives vampiric powers such as enhanced strength and flight after being bitten, but doesn't have time to enjoy his abilities.
I'll give you a chance, Martian. A chance to join us.
Batman immediately had to turn his new powers against dangerous vampires that threaten Gotham. By the end of the story, he gives up on being Bruce Wayne, but he's still determined to go on as a much more literal Batman.
Vampires and garlic? You actually believe that?
Number 9. Echolocation and Sonic Abilities. Justice League Volume 2, Issue 38.
Sonar. Just like a submarine, Mr. Wayne. Like a submarine.
In one comic storyline, Lex Luthor develops a synthetic plague known as the Amazovirus. When it accidentally gets out, most of the superpowered Justice League is rendered helpless and bedridden. Things turn out a little different for Batman when he's exposed to the Amazovirus. Within a short time, he loses his eyesight. However, he gains new echolocation abilities that allow him to hit enemies with sound waves and perceive the world around him.
The SWAT team on the stairwell. Another SWAT team on the roof.
Although it definitely made Bruce feel like more of a bat, this power set felt a little familiar. We think we know a superhero lawyer who can't see and relies on sounds that might sue Batman for copying him.
What do you actually see?
The world on fire.
Number 8. Flight, strength, and increased durability. Superman and Batman, number 32. Like Venom of Marvel fame, DC's Blackrock is an alien symbiote that can grant powers to ordinary people while having serious side effects on the host's mental state.
It amplifies characteristics of its host.
Hey, give me another cookie.
Especially aggression.
But when Superman and other heroes are overwhelmed by a negative influence, Batman relies on the alien. The Black Stone gives the Dark Knight enough power to fight the Big Blue Boy Scout. Additionally, Bruce can take a lot more punishment.
I broke you. How have you come back?
You think you're the only one who could learn the strength to escape? Where's the trigger?
But I never escaped.
The trade-off here is that Batman isn't exactly in full control of who he punches. Luckily, a couple of hard hits from Superman and an emotional conversation got Bruce back on track. Imagine the chaos Batman could have caused if he had the power of a symbiote that makes Venom look downright friendly.
Let it go.
I like being bad. It makes me happy.
Number 7. The Powers of a Genie. Detective Comics number 322.
It's all part and parcel the whole genie gig.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Yep, you heard right. Batman, the Dark Knight, Caped Crusader, and Scourge of Gotham's criminals was once a genie. After being hit with magic dust, the Batman must grant the wishes of crooks holding his lamp. He also gains a variety of superpowers like powerful breath, enhanced strength, and the ability to alter his size. Batman even tears the roof off a place at one point. Robin gets his partner back by just making a third wish that frees the Dark Knight from the lamp.
Genie, I wish for your freedom.
One bona fide prince pedigree coming up. What?
Although we praise the Boy Wonder's quick thinking, he might have missed a big opportunity. We wish Robin could have found a way for Batman to keep his genie powers just long enough to clean up Gotham's crime in a snap.
20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth. How many good guys are left?
Number 6. An Evil Bat Manhattan. Dark Knight's Medal.
If I'm to have a symbol, it shall be one I respect.
In the classic Watchmen graphic novel, an accident with an intrinsic field generator transforms scientist John Osterman into a blue being known as Dr. Manhattan. We'd see Bruce have a similar scientific mishap in the Dark Knight's Metal series. When he tried to investigate Dr. Manhattan's energy, the sinister Batman Who Laughs interfered. As a result, the machine imbued the Dark Knight with all of Dr. Manhattan's powers.
They are shaping me into something gaudy. Something lethal.
The Batman Who Laughs found a way to get his brain inside the superpowered Bruce Wayne's body. This led to a powerful being with Dr. Manhattan's powers, Batman's fighting skills, and Joker's insanity. Anyone scared of the Blue Man in Watchmen should know they could have dealt with someone much worse.
I said, leave me alone!
Number 5. Man-Bat Batman. Batman Incorporated, number 10.
Francine and Marge tried to protect me, but it was too late. The beast knew what chemicals were needed to bring itself about.
Since 1970, Dr. Kirk Langstrom's Man-Bat has been both Batman's ally and enemy. While the scientist's motivations vary depending on the story, he typically tries to help people with an affliction before accidentally creating a serum that mutates him into a Man-Bat.
2 for dinner, sir? I got a list of all the items stolen from the chemical labs. Who would have thought they'd be used to create a monster?
A desperate Bruce decided to give the serum a try himself in 2013. It was horrifying and a little cool to see the original Batman become more animalistic and sprout wings. This Dark Knight seemed to have all of Man-Bat's enhanced senses, sonar, and the ability to lead bats. If you want to see another version of this cool hybrid, Justice League Gods and Monsters has you covered. The movie just skips a step and has Kirk Langstrom become a Man-Bat Batman.
Go ahead.
Bet you taste like crap.
Number 4. Immortality. Superman and Batman Generations.
I understand your reluctance, Bruce. You saw the pit's effect on my father. I assure you the process is now much safer.
Although he's been around since 1939, Batman ages like everyone else. But his classic League of Shadows enemy, Ra's al Ghul, doesn't have to worry about that drawback. The villain has access to a rejuvenative substance which keeps him from aging. However, in Superman and Batman Generations, Ra's al Ghul asks an older Bruce to follow him into the Lazarus Pit. When the Dark Knight emerges, he's back in his prime and ready to fight crime.
Wow. I always wondered what you were like at your peak. Now I have some idea.
Not quite at my peak, but certainly better than I've been capable of in years.
He keeps using his access to his Lazarus Pit powers to deal out justice for much longer than he naturally could have. Normally, an older Bruce would just accept that he's aged and fight crime anyway. It's hard to tell whether that's more impressive than a practically immortal Batman.
Shall we?
After you.
Number 3. Green Lantern. Batman in Darkest Night.
The freedom of the entire universe is on the line, and our first duty is to the innocent people we sworn to protect and serve.
One Elseworlds tale chose to dramatically change Bruce Wayne's origin story at a crucial point. Right before a bat can fly in and inspire his heroic identity, he's offered the chance to become a Green Lantern. Bruce immediately uses the ring's ability to create virtually anything its wielder can think of to stop a robbery. He even manages to stop the accident that would have created the Joker. However, after Bruce fights the alien Sinestro, the extraterrestrial becomes a pseudo-version of the clown and must be stopped.
He callously destroyed every living being on those ships, after which he created a puppet government, loyal only to him.
Surprisingly, this isn't the only time Batman became a Lantern. We've even seen him wear a yellow ring. Every time he gets his hands on Lantern powers, Batman stuns us with his imagination.
They tell me it's all about will, and believe me, will's one thing I've got plenty of.
Number 2. The Red Death. Dark Knights. Metal. Batman the Red Death number 1. There's a world where a Batman snapped after losing multiple allies during his crusade.
Jesus, Alfred, count the dead. Thousands of people. What's next? Millions?
This unhinged Dark Knight only sees one way to move forward. He must stop the Flash and steal the Speedster's powers. After a tense battle, Bruce ends up tying the fast hero to the front of a modified Batmobile and drives into the Speed Force. This harrowing trip ends up giving the unhinged Bruce the powers of the Flash and the Scarlet Speedster's consciousness.
I've got a lock on the Ghost's resonance wave.
The new being becomes a vigilante known as Red Death who brutally eliminates criminals. On top of that, he can spawn bats that can wreak havoc on people's bodies. Thankfully, this powerful Batman is stopped before his terrifying powers could destroy untold amounts of lives.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it.
Number 1. Greatly enhanced strength and durability. Injustice, Gods Among Us. When the DC-themed Injustice Gods Among Us fighting game was announced, fans wondered how someone like Batman could fight powerhouses like Superman. The writers thought of a brilliant solution and introduced a pill made of Kryptonian nanotech.
It's a durability enhancer. 5U93R.
How can a pill allow...
Kryptonian nanotech. Increases the tensile strength of bone and tissue by several thousand%.
Known as 5U93R, this small item can vastly increase a person's endurance and strength. Although it was originally developed by an evil Superman, Batman and his allies grabbed some to resist the evil regime. It was great to see a pill that gave the Dark Knight enough power to smack Superman around that was so well integrated into the story. Although Batman has a mechanical suit that allows him to fight Kal-El, this small workaround was a great change of pace.
Breathe it in. That's fear.
Okay, earlier I described Batman as one of a kind, but that might not necessarily be the case. You see, I'm currently reminded of Marvel Comics' vengeance-seeking hero, Moon Knight. But who's better, DC's Batman or Marvel's Moon Knight? Let's find out.
It's me. Get the jet ready.
Very good, sir.
And pack the jewelry.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're comparing the Vigilantes, Batman, and Moon Knight.
One more word about Moon Knight, and our deal is off. Understood?
We'll have a look at everything from their origins to fighting style to see which of them has the edge. And while there are many interpretations of both characters, we'll be looking at the most consistent elements of their long histories for this matchup. Who would you want to have your back in a tense fight? Round 1. Origin.
Wallace, Joey, come on, fast.
That's fine. Just take it easy.
Batman's origin story is very well known amongst casual and hardcore fans alike. When Bruce Wayne was a child, his parents were shot in an alley within Gotham City. He spent the following years lost in deep grief and brooding. Eventually, Bruce traveled extensively and trained in multiple disciplines so he could fight crime and hopefully save others in Gotham.
What are you seeking? I seek the means to fight injustice.
The reason he chose a bat for his superhero persona is debatable. A story in 1956 saw Bruce remembering a repressed memory of his father as the original Batman and copying the costume. However, this part of his story was later altered. It's now mainly accepted that he had a frightful experience with bats and wanted to instill the same fear in his enemies.
Why bats, Master Wayne? Bats frighten me. This time my enemies shared my dread.
After growing up coming to terms with his dissociative identity disorder, Spectre eventually joined the Marines before doing mercenary work.
Lucky for you, no one knows the maze of tunnels beneath New York better than I do. They've been my base of operations for years.
And who exactly are you?
Name's Mark Spector.
While on a particular job in Sudan, he was appalled at the violent actions of his fellow mercenaries. Spectre's morals drove him to rescue the daughter of a target from death and take a stand against needless bloodshed. Unfortunately, his co-workers left him stumbling around a desert for his attempts at heroism.
And that failure broke him. Taught him a hard lesson. There's no saving anybody but yourself. Heroism and ideals are for fools.
After Spectre collapses, bystanders take him into a tomb and leave him near a statue of the moon god Khonshu. He suddenly springs to life and claims he's been chosen to fulfill a new purpose. Spectre then dubs himself Moon Knight, gets revenge against other mercenaries, and starts a new life of crime fighting.
If you could lose someone like that and keep fighting, then so can I.
While Batman's story is memorable, we think Moon Knight's origins are a little more interesting. His complex moral dilemma and the ambiguous nature of his revival are extremely intriguing. And to top it all off, the reason he chose a moon as a symbol is integrated into his main origin story a bit better than Bruce's connection to bats. Winner, Moon Knight.
What are you doing here? Someone told me you were just a myth.
I could leave.
Nope, I love myths.
Round 2, Sidekicks and Allies.
So Batman's got family too. Cute.
The Dark Knight doesn't typically have to work alone. He had one of the first superhero sidekicks to be introduced in comics when he brought Dick Grayson, aka Robin, into the fold. While Batman saw a reflection of himself in his young and orphaned acrobat partner, allies like the very trusted Alfred Pennyworth watched over him.
His parents were all the family that boy had.
That's why I've decided to take him in, as a foster son, if he'll have me. I was lucky enough to have you to guide me through those dark days, Alfred.
The Dark Knight also connected with his police force ally, Commissioner James Gordon, outside of the Batcave. Eventually, the lawman's daughter Barbara would also join Batman's crusade against crime. These 4 allies to Wayne were only just the beginning. Every year, the Bat family appears to grow even bigger.
Another one? I'll explain later.
Much like Batman, Moon Knight has a range of allies as well.
It's gonna take more than us to hold them off.
Then it's a good thing I didn't come alone.
But he doesn't exactly have a young ward standing at his side. Spectre's old friend, Jean-Paul Frenchy Duchamp, serves as a literal wingman. This ally gracefully pilots the Mooncopter to help provide rides to missions and hasty retreats. Outside of dangerous missions, Spectre's love interest Marlene has been a steady presence in his life. He's also been known to get information from an NYC diner owner named Gina Landers and local resident Bertrand Crawley. Occasionally, Moon Knight will also hallucinate allies to help him in tough spots. The lunar-themed vigilante definitely doesn't have to fight evil alone.
Without you two, this world would be lost.
We didn't do it alone.
Although both contenders have a number of allies on both sides, Batman's crew is definitely more stacked. The wide amount of skills and talents the Dark Knight's friends bring to the table definitely put him ahead this round. Winner, Batman.
Maybe so, but from here on, it's only family.
Round 3, Civilian Ego. Batman's civilian identity is pretty well known around Gotham and in the comics world.
And just when you're wondering where to register the China, he forgets your phone number. That's Bruce Wayne's style. Bruce?
Most people see him as the suave, aloof, and charitable billionaire CEO of Wayne Enterprises. But his careless persona is nothing more than another mask he wears. Underneath Bruce's exciting public personality, he's consistently obsessive and withdrawn. He rarely lets outsiders get too close to him because he's so focused on his mission.
Can we make it work this time?
I want to say yes, but you know it's going to come down between me and your father.
However, every time Bruce makes genuine connections with people, he becomes a little more comfortable being himself. The protector of Gotham still manages to find times where he's content being Bruce.
I always felt like I'd thrown you a curveball, like you never knew what to do with me because I wasn't in the plan.
You are now. I'm changing the plan.
As we mentioned before, Mark's dissociative personality disorder has led to him developing several alternate identities.
Oh my God, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark?
He is originally Mark Spector, mercenary and accomplished military man, but he's also an NYC cab driver named Jake Lockley. And did we mention he also has an identity as a billionaire playboy named Stephen Grant?
Real catch you are. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen.
Spector has been known to alternate between these personalities and more when he isn't fighting crime. By maintaining multiple lives, he's able to get information and access to different people. We never know who to expect when Moon Knight steps out of his costume. It's definitely interesting to see Bruce Wayne struggle to be a normal person outside of the Batcave. But Moon Knight's variety of identities help keep his stories fresh and surprising in every story. Plus, his Stephen Grant identity has a swimming pool that leads from the outside of his mansion directly into his bedroom. Batman doesn't have that. Winner, Moon Knight.
I was wrong. We are victorious.
Round 4. Villains.
Strike your colors, Penguin! Oh, we have not yet begun to fight! Attack!
It can be hard to keep track of all of Batman's rogues. He's dealt with villains like Joker, Riddler, and Penguin, and more since the 1960s. One of the most interesting things about Batman's villains is that they're often reflections of the Caped Crusader's own psyche. Pieces of the Dark Knight's personality are mirrored and personified as foes for him to fight.
That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day. You had a bad day once, am I right? Oh, I know I am.
For example, the Joker's chaotic nature speaks to Batman's desire for order. Catwoman's compulsive need to steal to fill a void speaks to how his vigilante career is used to handle his loneliness.
You could do anything you wanted. I assumed you did it because you couldn't stop
And if you can't control your actions, you're not quite sane.
whole.
As you look around his rogues gallery, you're bound to discover new sides of Batman's personality. And it's also incredibly fun to watch the Dark Knight take them down. Moon Knight has his own menagerie of enemies to deal with.
I will not allow this Spider-Face villain to stand in your way. I, the Moon's Knight of Vengeance, must carry out your luminous will.
They may range from the positively supernatural to the shockingly human. When he was starting out, he was hired to take out Werewolf by Night. Fortunately, Moon Knight decided not to go through with it. The lunar vigilante had a lot less luck with his fellow mercenary Bushman. They've kept their rivalry alive for years and clashed numerous times in a range of deadly battles. Spector has also managed to get on Arthur Harrow's bad side.
That must be very difficult. Voice in your head.
While the character is different depending on the incarnation, this villain's dangerous mind usually spells trouble for the lunar vigilante. Harrow is just one of the many eccentric bad guys Moon Knight has to deal with.
There's chaos in you.
We've seen Moon Knight go against some really unique opponents, but it's hard to deny the impact and complex layers of Batman's rogues. Thanks to fantastic writing, the Dark Knight is basically fighting against his own psychological demons every time he goes on patrol. Winner, Batman.
I don't know what it was that bent your life out of shape, but maybe I've been there too. Maybe we could work together. I could rehabilitate you.
Round 5. Fighting style and abilities.
Here's your money. Come get it.
Since Batman doesn't have any superpowers, he must therefore rely on his own physical ability and tech savvy to fight crime. He trained extensively in martial arts and weaponry with a variety of masters worldwide. Batman backs up those skills with a fortified costume and a variety of gadgets and batarangs that he may need in a fight. His suit, often made of layers of Kevlar, is designed so that targets aim for the safest part of the Bat costume on the chest.
Might I suggest this one? The headpiece has a bit more padding.
This clever trick is one of the many mental mind games Batman can play to throw his enemies off balance during battle.
I'm betting even now you can feel it. All that strength and genius slipping away just when you need it most.
No, no!
The combination of his martial arts experience and gadgets for virtually every scenario make him incredibly hard to beat. It's a little harder to determine if Moon Knight has special abilities or not.
I know a girl who can speak to squirrels, but your moon power? It's one of the most preposterous things I've ever heard. How does that work?
He either has some sort of power granted to him by the moon god Khonshu, or he just thinks he does. But whether or not he has powers, he has enough human strength and the arsenal to back up his endeavors.
Yes. Run, foul Nightspawn. All bend to the might of the moon who powers the very tides of the sea.
Moon Knight's suit is often made out of one of the strongest metals in the Marvel universe. He's also equipped with a truncheon, crescent moon projectiles, and cape. The costume accessory is both aesthetically symbolic and can help him glide. Thanks to his military experience and signature weapons, he's ready for most opponents.
Thanks, Moon Knight.
I am only doing the moon's will.
Of course you are.
Both contenders have plenty of fighting experience, a great arsenal of weapons, and fantastic suits. But in the end, we think Batman would come out on top. Even if Moon Knight has superpowers, the Dark Knights fought and even beaten vastly more powerful beings many times. And his ability to play mind games would likely give him the edge over Moon Knight in a crucial moment. Winner, Batman. And the winner is Batman by a narrow 3-2.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
Alright, well that's going to do it for this extra brooding special look at Batman. Hope you had fun, you know I did. I've been Matt from Watch Mojo, and I'll see you next time.